Hello family, how are you all doing? I hope you've had a lovely weekend and are ready to embrace this new week with vigour and direction. I am. I'm really excited. I feel a bit different this week. Don't know why, but I just feel like something great is on its way, something great is about to happen. So today's video is a bit of a retrospective, a look back at how I have embraced full-heartedly the new direction I'm being prompted into by the divine, my team, and of course, my higher self. I know it might sound like I romanticize them, but I do. I know that they are my biggest cheerleaders and also put up with my bullcrap. I can be a petulant child when I don't get my own way. I get a real bee in my bonnet. I'm the first to admit it. But yet, they still support me, guide my steps, and help me to eventually get why certain behaviours that I haven't let go of need to go, and why they're still getting the same results. They're actually showing me as we speak. Just that. Hence the need for this video. There are so many misconceptions surrounding being a spiritual person and us having to be at our highest self all the time. It's said that we have to always operate from an elevated level of consciousness and that we need to watch our P's and Q's at all times to avoid the wrath of the Creator. Lol. I most definitely do not think the higher ups, so to speak, want blood from us and want us to be all angelic and holier than thou. Absolutely not. We're human, for goodness sake, and we are all created as different souls experiencing our divine given powers through our own individual essence. Hence the need to be true to who you are at your core and not to follow any indoctrination to be like anyone else. Indeed, once we learn from what we are being taught by our higher self, we can become the next evolved version, of course. But I don't think the guys want us to falsely pretend and embody something that we are not yet. That's why I'm such an advocate for self-actualization and have been on this journey for many, many decades. When I recently decided to resurface from my 3-year hiatus, I was looking at the various directions I could take this new, refined spiritual endeavour. I knew I was being called to share my voice, and because doing so is such a fulfilling thing for me, my first thought was obviously YouTube, which was the platform of choice when I first started back in 2021. Although I loved being on the tube back then, life was really lifing, and there was too many things that were just opposing what I was trying to do. They weren't aligned, so I knew it wasn't the right time. So someone recently suggested that I started a podcast with guests and all that kind of stuff, and that really got me thinking. On one hand, yeah, that sounded fantastic, but on another, why would something such as a podcast fill me with such dread? I mean, I really have an expansive mind and it tends to run off on a tandem once I get an idea. So it would lend quite well to something like that. Or being a creative business advisor or something. I'm so sure the people in my life have regretted sharing their ideas with me, because after I'm finished with them, the idea becomes so big, it scares them into inaction.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off!
I'm sorry. It's only love. Don't speak to me about your ideas if you really aren't serious about it. If you're not serious about developing it into something huge, okay? Alright. On one hand, part of me was thinking, why not start a podcast? I can call up the guests and say, hey girl, fancy coming on my podcast? Blah de blah. But that just didn't feel natural to me. In fact, I've never been that girl, even in my youth. Yes, I'm social and I know how to have a good time. Some might even mistaken me for being the life and soul of the party after a few drinks. But once I deeped it for a little while, it came to me and it came into my awareness. I have been on that road less travelled for such a long time, a very long time in my existence. Don't get me wrong, I do have friends. A few, but I'm a loner at heart. If you were with me at the beginning of my YouTube journey, I think it was the second video that I gave an in-depth backstory on how far back my spirituality went. So that being said, I have been trotting this road to self-actualization for over 30 years. Bloody hell. And it still feels like I'm yet to really meet the true me. Meet myself fully. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. I guess growth is a continuum, and it keeps evolving as we journey deeper and deeper into the realms of ourself. I love the fact that I have done so much inner work that I feel confident and relaxed enough to share this with the world. Share who I am at the core, unapologetically. I know I have been prompted to do so because there must be others out there just like me, with questions that may need alternative perspectives. But that being said, it really showed me how single-minded I've been on this road. I truly believe one must become so when they are pursuing themselves. I do sometimes look at the social aspects of myself and think for a hot minute, why do I tend to feel more comfortable being on my own or with just a couple of friends? But I know it's because my soul's journey has been my soul's journey alone. And of course I know my personality is not for everyone. My unawares bluntness is most definitely not for the weak-hearted. I'm sorry. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm trying. I do think I'm getting better though. I mean, whether I'm in a relationship with a partner or when I'm mothering my daughter, it's always remained the same, my story to write. It's my curiosity, it just doesn't subside. It's not that I'm selfish either. It'd have been a completely different thing if I had more children, for instance, and a husband, but that wasn't meant for me. No matter how hard I tried, the divine only blessed me with one child. And she's almost 19 now, so it almost feels like being childless. But obviously in hindsight, I understand why I only had one. I had other things to accomplish. So I guess it's true to say our contractual assignment on this planet is decided before we are even pushed through the birthing canal. We are all here for our individual assignments in a greater scheme of things. It's taken me many decades to conclude what I have to this point. So observing my life play out how it has fills me with such happiness. Yes, I'm alone now, and that is okay with me. But saying that, I too have to be challenged beyond my self-imposed limitations. The podcast idea, it still excites me on a certain level, and I'm sure it will catapult me out of my comfort zone. So that might be a future endeavour, who knows. But for now, my soul family, who might consider themselves a bit odd for the same reasons I've mentioned, hear these words. You can be a glamour puss like me, a social butterfly whenever you choose to tap into the world, as well as love being on your own, enjoying your own company for days upon days. The dichotomy is yours to navigate and yours alone. Where are you being shown the way back to self and are avoiding it like the plague? It's our choice to make. After all, we have all been given free will. Whenever we're ready to take another leap of faith into another new adventure, will be exactly the right time for us. Nothing has to happen before it's time. I don't have to start a podcast tomorrow because somebody's mentioned it and it has spiked a little bit of interest. No. When you are aligned and things are aligned and you feel like it's the right time, that's when you do it. That's why I call this the Chrysalis Chronicles, because, we're all at the dawn before our era, so we're still maybe in the chrysalis stage of our life, but that's okay. If we continue following, the nudges and the prompts, we will eventually become the butterfly. I know that's a bit corny, but it's so true. Okay, another one bites the dust. Thank you so much for coming along with me on my journey back to self. And thank you for supporting me to make YouTube part of my North Node. Until the next one, take care, bye.